Hello everyone, Purge here, and welcome back to another Monsters and Memories tutorial video. Today I want to answer one of the more common questions that I see in chat here in Monsters and Memories. If you look at what just happened here, two people just spawned right here. This is the spawn point for the West Gate classes. And the question that I want to answer is, how do you get to Northgate? So this is Westgate. You can tell because you got the big green glowy castle and the portcullis behind it. Well, speaking of that portcullis is called the Garrison. That is where the Fighter, Archer, and Ranger Guild is. I'm going to show you how to get to Northgate, and I'm going to explain where to find your class guilds along the way. So, first thing you want to do is move away from the portcullis. If you're trying to get to Northgate, this is the main West Gate. If you look right over there, you can see there's some light there. There's another gate over there. I call that the Sojourner's Gate. But this is the main West Gate right here. If you look over here, you'll see that there's a sign for the Shaded Blue Inn. And it's actually that door right there with the torches. If you continue forward, you can see there's a pathway over that way. If you go in there and turn left, you'll see the Wayfarer's Hospice, which is where the Cleric and Paladin Guild is. However, that is not what we're primarily looking at right now. This is the Western Gate. We're looking for neither of those things, but you want to head towards the Night Market and Twilight Harbor sign area. Toward the big dome, that's the palace. You want to head in this direction. Over there, you'll see the bath. And right here, you'll see the Night Market. The Night Market, in fact, this purple glow right here, is near the Bard Guild. And then also in the Night Market is the Rogue Guild. And if we come over this way and just keep going straight. So you enter Westgate and just go all the way straight, and you'll see a sign here for Sage Side, Metropolis. This is what you're looking for here. All right, if you go that way, you'll reach eventually. You can also go this way. There's multiple paths. This is another entrance to the Night Market. Can be very handy sometimes, that entrance, I tell you what. This right here is Salt Breeze Park. This is where the Shaman and Beastmaster and Druid guilds are. And if you look, that door right there, those two torches, that door will lead you to the Monk and Elementalist Guild. And over here, so this is where we were, this little crossroads here. If you turn left here, it'll take you right back to the main road. Where you'll see what we're looking for. And right there is that little planter thing that we saw before. Here we are. Sage Side in the Necropolis. This is where we're going. It's interesting that the sign says the Necropolis, but the actual name for the area is called the Concourse of Souls. I find that kind of odd. If I start talking about, hey, meet up at the Necropolis, people are like, huh? Where's that? But that is the Necropolis, aka the Concourse of Souls, that green glowy building in the middle of the city. That is the Necromancer and Shadow Knight Guild. And then over there you can see the park again. There's that door I mentioned. And this right here, you see the pink gem floating above the archway from very far away. That's your cue that you're getting towards Northgate. And there's actually a little door right here that'll take you directly to the Shaman Guild and just into the park in general if you need to get there. And there is Master Wingcog's Curious Goods for any enchanters. Here in this alley. I call it an alley. It's kind of... And this is called Sage Side, aka Northgate. So this up here, we have the Red Mantle Garrison over there. That is the entrance to the palace. As well as, over here we have North Bank. North Bank is best bank, folks. At least that's my opinion. Anyway, see that big floating tower in the distance? Yeah, that's the Wizard Tower. That is where you'll find the Wizard, Spellblade, Inquisitor, and Enchanter Guild. That right there is the teleporter that'll take you to the docks. So if you need to get to the ship to go over to Gallifrey, that's one way to get there. And then right there with the red banners that person just came out of, that is the Northgate Inn. And this right here is Northgate proper. So I hope this helped you find your way around. There's one other thing I want to point out to you guys, and that is that over there is a little bit of a trickier area. But if you go into the, there's a little bit higher level area there. There's like level 6 skeletons over there. But if you go through those banners right there, you can also reach it from the bottom of that little alleyway there to the Concourse of Souls. You can reach the Concourse of Souls noob yard, and if you hang a right in there and come back toward in this the direction that my, so you'd be going in this direction, you will reach a place called the Black Feather Bazaar. There's a bunch of vendors in there. That's where the alchemy trainer is. It's a very useful place to know where it is. So that is the how to get to Northgate question answered right there. Thank you for watching.